If you have ever stared at a text message and felt your whole body change before you even knew what you were thinking, this video is for you. Not a breakup text, not a cruel text, just a shorter reply than usual. Okay, sure, talk later. Or worse, nothing at all. And suddenly the day has a different temperature. Your stomach tightens, your chest gets busy, your mind starts building a courtroom out of punctuation. Gednaderst, en heit, amo plili, and have to do something, and others. Should I send another message? Should I act normal? Should I apologize, even though I am not sure what I did? From the outside, this gets dismissed as overthinking, but that word can be too small. Because a lot of people are not overthinking because they enjoy drama. They are scanning because their body learned that uncertainty is not neutral. Uncertainty means something might be about to disappear. In this video, I want to explain why anxious attachment often looks less like neediness and more like vigilance, why you read tone before words, why silence can feel louder than a fight, why you may apologize just to end the suspense, and oashertel and am separating a real signal from an old alarm. Because the goal is not to become someone who never needs reassurance. The goal is to stop making your nervous system work a full-time job in every relationship. First thing to understand is that vigilance is usually older than the relationship you are in now. People talk about anxious attachment like it begins when you meet someone you really like. But often, the relationship only activates a skill you learned much earlier. Maybe you grew up with a parent whose mood controlled the room. Maybe warmth was inconsistent. Maybe attention came and went without explanation. Maybe love was real but unpredictable. Maybe someone could be sweet in the morning and cold by dinner and nobody told you why, so you learned to watch. You watched footsteps. You watched doors. You watched tone. You watched the way someone put down a cup. You watched whether a face looked open or closed before you decided how much of yourself to bring into the room. That is not a personality quirk, that is adaptation. A child who cannot control the emotional weather may become very good at forecasting it. And later, in adult relationships, the body may keep using the same weather system. It scans the person you love for signs of temperature change. One slow reply, one flat voice, one distracted dinner, one "I am fine" that does not sound fine. And your system says, pay attention, something is shifting. This is why anxious attachment can feel so intelligent in the moment. You are not making things up out of nowhere. You are often noticing real micro changes. The problem is not always that your perception is wrong. The problem is that your body may treat every change as a threat. That distinction matters, because if you tell yourself, I am crazy, I notice too much, you shame the part of you that once helped you survive. But you tell yourself, every shift means danger, you let the alarm run your life, healing lives in the space between those two. I notice something. My body is activated. That does not mean the story my fear is telling is complete. The second thing that happens is that silence starts to feel like information. For someone with a more secure system, silence may simply be silence. They are working, they are tired, they are driving, they forgot, they are not in a texting mood. But if your history taught you that silence came before rejection, silence does not feel empty, it feels full. Full of possible meanings, full of blame, full of endings you are trying to prevent before they happen. This is why you may feel calmest right after someone reassures you, not because reassurance fixed the whole wound, because for a moment the nervous system got data. We are still okay, they are still here, the connection still exists. But then time passes, the next unknown appears. Pania sacks again. Are we still safe? If you have ever felt embarrassed by how quickly reassurance fades, you are not alone. It fades quickly when the real issue is not only the present question, but the old fear underneath it. Do they love me? That may be the surface question. The deeper question may be, can I survive not knowing for a few hours? That is a different skill, and it cannot be built by attacking yourself for needing comfort. It has to be built by helping your body tolerate uncertainty without handing the steering wheel to panic. The third layer is that vigilance can make you act in ways that look like the very thing you are afraid of. This is where the pattern becomes painful. It just imparsa muriu, hedisiu mauis. Yo mauis, hesiu ins. You ins, hesiu ask questions with more pressure than you mean to. Yorston feels managed, accused, or watched. They pull back. Now the distance you feared becomes real. And your brain says, see, I knew something was wrong. But sometimes what you detected was not the original threat. Sometimes you detected your own alarm spreading through the room. This does not mean everything is your fault. Some people really are inconsistent. Some people do keep you guessing. Some people enjoy the power of being hard to read. Some people call you anxious when the relationship itself is unstable. So do not use this video to blame yourself for every reaction you have. Use it to ask a sharper question. Am I responding to a present pattern, or am I responding to a familiar feeling? A present pattern has evidence over time. They often disappear, they avoid repair, they get close and then punish you for expecting closeness. They refuse clarity but enjoy access to you. They leave you repeatedly confused. An oreo feeling can be activated by something smaller. Anoa wam, anorly activov, anorly activov, anorly activert, anorly activert, anorly activert. Both can hurt, but they require different responses. If there is a present pattern, you need boundaries, clarity, and maybe distance. If there is an old alarm, you need regulation, reality checking, and self-trust. If you treat every old alarm like a present pattern, you may interrogate safe people until they feel unsafe. If you treat every present pattern like an old alarm, you may gaslight yourself into staying where you are not being loved well. Your work is learning to tell the difference. The fourth thing to understand is that anxious vigilance often hides under competence. Some people imagine anxious attachment as constant texting, crying, clinging, asking, "Do you still love me?" But many anxious people are much quieter. They do not ask for reassurance. They perform being fine. They answer carefully. They become useful. They overfunction. They anticipate needs. They apologize first. They smooth the air before anyone knows it got tense. They are not trying to be controlling. They are trying not to be left with no warning. This is why the exhaustion is invisible. Other people may only see the final behavior, the double text, the weird question, the sudden mood shift, the apology, the withdrawal. But they do not see the hour of internal scanning before it. They do not see you rereading one sentence 7 times. You do not aus, and nag, and jutravan, and message and deleting it, because every version feels either too needy or too cold. They do not see the way your body tries to solve a relationship before the other person has even entered the conversation. That is the cost. Vigilance promises safety, but it steals presence. You cannot fully experience closeness while you are constantly auditing it. So what helps? Not a quick trick, but a different sequence. Most anxious spirals go like this: trigger, story, reaction, regret. A delayed text happens. The story arrives immediately. They are pulling away. Then the reaction follows. You send too much, shut down, apologize, test them, or pretend you do not care. Later, when your body settles, you may feel embarrassed. The new sequence is trigger, body, reality, choice. First, name the trigger. Their reply was shorter than usual. Keep it factual. Not, "They hate me," not, "I ruined everything," just the observable thing. Then name the body. "My stomach dropped. My chest is tight. I want to fix this immediately. I feel a strong urge to apologize." This matters because the body often moves faster than the mind. If you do not notice the body, you will treat the body alarm like a fact. Then you ask for reality. What else could be true? What is the pattern over time? Have they shown consistent care? Have I asked directly, or am I trying to solve this by guessing? Am I afraid of what happened today or of what this reminds me of? Then choose. Maybe the choice is to wait 20 minutes before sending anything. Maybe it is to ask a clean question. Hey, I noticed you seemed quieter. Are we okay, or are you just tired? And do always you regulate before replying. Maybe it is to write the message you want to send, not send it, and read it again when your body is less activated. Maybe it is to acknowledge a real pattern and stop calling yourself anxious for reacting to inconsistency. The point is not to never need clarity. The point is to ask from your adult self instead of from the alarm. There is a huge difference between, why are you being weird? Did I do something? Are you mad? Please just tell me. And, I am noticing I feel uncertain, and I do not want to guess. Are we okay? The first one hands the other person your nervous system. The second one gives them information and keeps you with yourself. That is secure behavior, not never feeling anxious, acting with enough self-contact that anxiety does not have to do all the talking. And sometimes secure behavior also means receiving the answer you did not want. If they are annoyed, you can hear it. If they need space, you can tolerate it. If they are inconsistent again, you can track the pattern. If they keep making you feel unsafe, you can stop trying to become calm inside an unstable bond. This is the final piece. Your sensitivity is not the enemy. Your scanning probably began as intelligence. It helped you read rooms. It helped you avoid conflict. It helped you stay attached to people who were hard to predict. But a survival skill can become a prison when you keep using it after the danger has changed. The goal is not to become numb. The goal is to become accurate. Notice without spiraling, to ask without collapsing, to wait without abandoning yourself, to trust that a text message, a tone shift, or a moment of silence is information, not a sentence. You do not have to shame the part of you that watches, but you do have to stop letting it live on duty every hour of every relationship. Because love is not supposed to feel like permanent surveillance, and you are allowed to want a connection where your body can eventually stop scanning the room and actually sit down. If this helped you understand a pattern you have been blaming on being too much, subscribe to Katalyst Mind. Here, we slow down the small emotional signals that can quietly run a whole relationship, and that difference can change the way you love.